with a relatively small number of documents to get your identifier and put it into these handles.
Yes, yes.
For example, if you go into a website which is a DSpace collection and is pointing to a handle, right. Greenstone knows how to go up to the stream in order to up the. But I agree that better support for these handles or permanent identifiers should be considered. Greenstone also will probably not be as scalable as DSpace for very, very large collections, especially if you get large amounts of metadata. If you get more than 10 gigabytes of data, you may begin to have troubles that you will not experience at that level with DSpace.
Right.
So there you would consider a group of collections, because Greenstone has the multi-collection searching facility.
Right.
You may have to think about how to better organize your data if you are going into very large collections.
Right.
So I think all of this is done at the level of the system analysis and feasibility study. Greenstone is only a tool among many, with many advantages, and also quite a few areas where it cannot fully compete with other software.
Right. So I think that question is answered.
Thank you.
Okay.
The person asking the question already have a DSpace collection, already have a Greenstone collection, or is
no, sir. Prof.John, the context is that they are in a dilemma whether to go for Greenstone or to go for DSpace. People are talking so much about DSpace, so much about Greenstone, so we are in dilemma. So it's better that we clarify this and then step our shoes or step our feet into a good shoe.
Yes.
Okay.
And the consortium should be able to advise, or the National Digital Library Network or node that we're talking about, should be able to advise and converse on these different aspects, and also to ensure compatibility once the collections are built.
Yes.
That once you're built with a certain software, you shouldn't be isolated. You should be compatible with the rest of the consortium.
Yeah, I think these discussions are actually proving to be quite fruitful in that manner. I think it is going to clarify. I think the members of the consortium, they will take this forward to the other members and those who are having such questions and doubts with Greenstone and DSpace. Any other question?
But on behalf of the Greenstone team, that we should make a more effort to publicize and to test the OAI facilities of Greenstone, and only then will we really be able to see how this compatibility is working.
Right. Questions?
Have you done this in the workshop? You did the OAI exercise?
We couldn't do that because of paucity of time. 2 exercises we couldn't do. That was actually but I have I have given them a tour of that, but I couldn't do the exercise, what is called hands-on.
Okay, because you can take any collection, any Greenstone collection with any metadata set.
Yeah.
You can put in some mapping parameters to make it look like a Dublin core to the external users, and allow them to harvest through OAI. And the OAI the strict OAI is only dealing with harvesting of bibliographic data.
Yeah,
of metadata.
Those things we have discussed.
But the Greenstone harvesting allows you also to get the document, to get the metadata, and to get the document. So this is really a powerful way to use OAI to harvest information from all over the world and from your own country, and to integrate it into your collection for your network.
Yes. In a developing country, but I am not just talking about the Greenstone Digital Library. In a developing country, what do you suggest, though you are a promoter of Greenstone Digital Library, do you recommend for the developing countries DSpace or Greenstone Digital Library? And if so, why? This is one question. And the other question is, for the Greenstone Digital Library, we have made the integrations with the KOHA integrated library system. Similarly, what are the other areas where Greenstone Digital Library can be integrated with other software packages, just like the web page design, etc. So what is your opinion about this one, and in futures, what other software packages can be integrated with the Greenstone Digital Library, so that the library will feel little bit of comfortability in providing more information dissemination services?
And within a country, and both within a country and among countries. If we take, for example, India with more than 1 billion people and so many universities, that it is hard to see that how they could build their institutional repository system with Greenstone. But on the other hand, the libraries may be very interested in using Greenstone, and the smaller libraries may be able to build an institutional repository for their institution and link into a broader network with DSpace. I think that if at any rate, nothing prevents you from migrating your institutional repository to DSpace once you have it going in Greenstone. So I would think that for a smaller country, without so much computer expertise or experience, especially if there was guidance at the level of the region, of the South Asian region, that there could be a lot of interest in starting the institutional repositories as one application among others of the participating libraries, and developing the protocols in order to put in the necessary workflow support. But as I said, this workflow support will probably not be as much of a turnkey or automatic system as you have for DSpace. It may involve some system person transferring data each night from one collection to another, so the next day the metadata can be updated by a specialized group or something like that. But I think these are things that we could develop with you if you are interested. Well, on the other hand, if you're interested in developing your institutional repository system with DSpace and using Greenstone for other applications, including accessing this institutional repository data, that would also be fine with us. So I think it depends. A system analysis should be done for each country and institution, and that could be one of the roles of the network to help in this. Now, considering integration, I think there's really a distinction between a digital library, which is handling large quantities of documents, and a content management system, which is much more flexible for developing virtual libraries. Once you get above, let's say, several hundred documents, it becomes, as I understand, difficult to do everything you want in terms of access and organization and effective use of computer resources with Joomla or Drupal or something like that. So I'm not sure if the question of the integration is so clear, but I think if the needs are expressed, we can also work on this with you. You could also do import. Surely you could import information from a content management system, or even from a wiki. For example, you can import a complete wiki into the Greenstone and use that as digital library documentation. So we have to see whether we're talking about the flexibility in terms of transfer of data or real need for integration in that sense. The integration of the ILS and the digital library is very important. And there you have made a very important step in doing this application. Now we're talking about having a live CD that should be developed in Bangalore and should allow this to be demonstrated and used all over the world. And I think if there's interest, we could do a similar integration with Evergreen or other ILS systems. There should be this similar approach because it was basically based on OAI. I think that probably we could integrate with other ILS systems the same way that we have done with KOHA. Does that answer or confuse no one?
Yes, I have got answers which Prof.John has answered. So we go ahead for other questions. Again, today is also a session. Yes, so today also there is a separate sessions for integrations of the KOHA and GSDL, and this has already been done. But we will show the demo of the integrations, procedures for the integrations of the KOHA and GSDL. This is one thing. To promote the locally generated information, and locally generated information is in the journals published within a country, and conference system publish so many conferences are held within a country, and there are already other software packages called Open Journal System and Open Conference Systems. Can this also be integrated with the GSDL, just like we have integrated with KOHA? So I'm asking these questions with you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm having a sound. Could you repeat? Just 1 second. Let me shut the door here.
The library is developing collections for locally generated information, and locally generated, one of the main area of locally generated informations sources is journals published within the country, and the conferences already opens two information sources. One is the Open Journal System and another is the Open Conference System. Is there a plan or can it be done integrations with OJS, Open Journal System and Open Conference System?
I can't do it. There's no way. 1 second. Can you wait just...
Digital library, just like we have done integrations with KOHA and GSDL. So, or is there feasibility to do these things? So I am asking these questions.
I think it's
pretty complex. I will clarify that, Professor John. What Dr. Mohan is asking is actually, there are some projects which are coming from the public knowledge project of the Simon Fraser University. You must be knowing about the Open Journal System,
yes,
Open Conference Systems, etc. Now the question is whether it can be integrated into, as it is needed, it can be integrated. Isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
I think once we have a plan, what really has to be done,
yes,
that we can see if we have the resources and the possibility and how to do it. I see a little bit less clearly the need to integrate the open conference system with a digital library, because one is a real-time system and the other is a document content management and retrieval system.
Actually, not only that.
I see much more clearly the need to integrate the Open Journal System and digital library. And I think we can work on this with you. When you talk about local content, the fact that Greenstone will allow you to develop collections with multimedia. For example, there are quite a few collections of newspapers, of oral history, of music, and things like this, which go outside the realm of a digital of an institutional repository. And so I think all of this goes toward the idea of using local content.
Shall you take more questions? Yeah.
Just a few words.
Okay. We'll take one more question and let him speak.
Professor John, I have one question. We have hundreds of documents in hard copy and we want to digitize and build a digital library. So is there any way to minimize the cost in terms of technology and manpower? Is there any institution involved to digitize the hard copy in?
Good.
He has about 100+ documents with him. Now the question is whether there can be an agency or a mechanism through which these documents can get digitized.